Hello everyone, welcome to Inconvenient Truths. I'm your host, Jennifer Zeng. Today I want to talk about three topics. First, the tariff policy Trump just announced and how it might affect the CCP and China. Second, two unusual events in Chinese politics that suggest Xi Jinping's power might be weakening. Third, a quick comment on my last video, why many Chinese people are suddenly asking, where have all the Chinese gone? I'll share my thoughts on this reason behind it. On April 2nd, which Trump called Liberation Day, the U.S. raised tariffs on China to 54%. Some say if you add the 20% already in place, the total tariff is actually 74%. That's not counting the extra 25 tariff on steel and aluminum, 100% on cars and dog feeds, etc. Also, Chinese goods under $800 coming through the international mail system now face a 30 tariff or of 25 fee per item. This will hit Chinese e-commerce companies like Temu and Shein hard. As we know, China's economy relies on three main drivers: infrastructure, government spending, and domestic demand and exports. The first two have been weak for a while. Now, with exports taking such a big hit, you can imagine what's ahead for the Chinese economy. Since joining the WTO in 2001, the CCP took advantage of America's generosity and used tactics like technology theft to become the world's second largest economy. But that model can't go on anymore. Next, I think the CCP will likely close off the country even more, turning China into a second North Korea. Whether the economy collapses or people's lives get worse doesn't matter to them. A bad economy won't affect the lavish lifestyles of the party's top leaders. The question is, how long can the Chinese people put up with this? That's something to watch. Another question is, will the CCP start a war abroad to attract from problems at home, to distract from problems at home? Some believe they won't fully attack Taiwan, but might create small military clashes near Taiwan's outer islands like Kinmen, then declare a state of war to tighten control over China. A former Chinese official now living abroad, Du Wen, said recently that according to his sources in China, the CCP has ordered its military to be fully ready for war with Taiwan by 2026. Before, the deadline was 2027. Do you think this could be true? Either way, Taiwan is speeding up its preparations. Last September, President Ching-te released a video urging people to stock up on supplies and emergencies. Japan's government also made a plan to evacuate about 120,000 residents in 6 days if Taiwan is attacked by the CCP. There's a saying in China, be prepared just in case. So, whether the CCP attacks Taiwan or not, the world needs to be fully ready. Now, let's talk about two big events in Chinese politics from the past few days. The first one is about a shakeup in the Chinese military's top ranks. As you know, on March 13th, I was the first to report in English media that He Weidong, the third-ranking official in the Chinese military and a vice chairman of the Central Military Commission, had been arrested. Since then, several mainstream English media outlets followed up on the story, and two U.S. intelligence officials also confirmed it to the Washington Times. It has been 21 days now, and the CCP hasn't denied the rumor. Instead, yesterday, they did something that makes it seem more real. And yesterday, on April 2nd, the CCP's mouthpiece Xinhua published a report titled Zhang Youxia and Yin Li join capital tree planting event. By the way, Xi Jinping also attended such a tree planting event today, but as a party leader instead of a military one. Zhang Youxia is the military's second-ranking official and the top vice chairman of the Central Military Commission. Yin Li is Beijing's party secretary. This tree planting event is an annual tradition organized by the CCP's Central Military Commission. It's been held for 43 years straight. Every year, the vice chairman needed, joined by other commission members for this publicity stunt. But this year's report only mentioned Zhang Youxia in the title and text. It also named other two commission members, Liu Zhengli and Zhang Shengmin, who attended. There was no mention of He Weidong at all. If He Weidong were fine, this would never happen. Now let's compare last year's report. On April 1st, 2024, Xinhua's headline was Zhang Youxia, He Weidong, and Yin Li join capital tree planting events. It's almost the same as this year, just with He Weidong's name added. The first line said, Zhang Youxia and He Weidong went to a planting site in Beijing's Chaoyang district on April 1st. The year before that, the report was identical word for word with the same first line, just dated April 7th. Both years, Zhang Youxia and He Weidong were reported together. He Weidong is one of Xi Jinping's closest allies. He was promoted to vice chairman at the 20th Party Congress in October 2022, breaking normal rules. Before that, in April 2022, he wasn't yet vice chairman. That year's headline was Xu Qiliang, Zhang Youxia, and Cai Qi join capital tree planting event. Xu Qiliang was the top vice chairman then, Zhang Youxia the second, and Cai Qi was Beijing's mayor. So every year, the event follows a pattern. Two vice chairmen lead all central military mission members, joined by Beijing's mayor. But this year, not only was Miao Hua, a commission member, officially announced as sacked, being absent, but He Weidong, still listed and pictured as vice chairman on the official website, was missing too. This can only mean He Weidong is likely in trouble, just not yet publicly confirmed. The Xinhua report, by leaving him out, is signaling to the world that something has happened to him. Or maybe anti-Xi forces, instead the party, are leaking that Xi's grip on the military has been weakened or stripped away. The other big event is something that never happened since the CCP took power. The the Minister of Organization, who handles official appointments, and the Minister of United Front Work, who deals with foreign influence, suddenly swapped jobs. This is a picture of Li Ganjie. A few days ago, he was the organization minister. Now, he's suddenly the United Front minister. The CCP didn't officially announce it. Instead, a Hong Kong newspaper with CCP ties, Xindao Daily, reported it yesterday on April 2nd. Then Xinhua started calling him the United Front minister. At the same time, the former United Front Minister Shi Taifeng became the organization minister. People can only guess this was decided at a Politburo meeting on March 31st. The official report just said the meeting discussed 2 resolutions and other matters. This must be one of those other key other matters. So why did this unprecedented swap happen? A quick look at the records shows Li Ganjie and Shi Taifeng both became Politburo members in 2022 at the 20th Party Congress. By the way, the Politburo usually has 25 members, including 7 in the standing committee. These 25 are the most powerful people in the CCP. Li Ganjie became organization minister in April 2023. Shi Taifeng became United Front minister in October 2022. Normally, these jobs last 5 years. So why swap now before their terms are up? I think this shows the power struggle inside the CCP is spreading from the military to government offices. The organization department, propaganda department, and the United Front department are the party's 3 main functional branches. The organization department, which controls appointments, has the most real power. The United Front department focuses on foreign infiltration and isn't as important inside the party. So, Li Ganjie moving from organization minister to United Front minister is like a demotion. Meanwhile, Shi Taifeng's moving is like a promotion. What's the story behind this rise and fall? People who follow Chinese politics know Li Ganjie has long been seen as one of Xi Jinping's loyal insiders. His predecessor, like Chen Xi, was Xi Jinping's roommate at Tsinghua University, living in the same dorm, a very close tie. When Chen Xi stepped down as organization minister in 2023 at age 70, he didn't retire. He became head of the CCP's Central Party School, training the party's top officials. Li Ganjie taking Chen Xi's job was clearly Chen's pick, approved by Xi Jinping. So what about Shi Taifeng? He crossed paths with Xi directly. Before Xi became the party leader, he was head of the Central Party School from 2007 to 2012. For 3 of those years, Shi Taifeng was the deputy head. Shi also went to Peking University Law School with the late Chinese Premier Li Keqiang in the same class. Over Shi Taifeng's 9 years as deputy head of the party school, he worked with former party leader Hu Jintao and former vice president Zhang Qinghong, both past heads of the school, and got along with them well. So many don't see him as one of Xi Jinping's core loyalists or even part of Xi Jinping's faction. He's more tied to Hu Jintao and Li Keqiang's Youth League faction. For example, in March 2016, when retired Hu Jintao visited Jiangsu's Taizhou to honor his ancestors, Shi Taifeng, then Jiangsu's governor, made a special trip to see him. They had tea in the courtyard with Hu and his wife, showing a close personal bond. So some analysts say this unheard of job swap shows Xi Jinping's faction losing ground and the Youth League faction gaining. It's more proof Xi's power is sleeping. Sorry. Or maybe after anti-Xi forces purged Xi's military allies, they are now starting a big cleanup in the government and party. They couldn't wait for the organization minister's 5-year term to end. They needed that job now to pave the way for the next step, clearing out Xi Jinping's faction in both the party and government systems. In the last bit of time, I want to talk about the videos shared in my last video. Netizens across China filmed scenes showing China has no people. So many online are asking where have all the Chinese gone. They've noticed a clear drop in crowds, either in cities, villages, malls, subways, or bus stops. This shows China's population shrinking is now something you can see with your own eyes. So why is this happening? I think there are a few reasons. First, the death toll during the 3 years of the pandemic was huge. But back then, the CCP covered it up and most people were locked down at home, so no one knew how many died outside. I don't know whether you remember, but in January 2023, I did more than one episode about China's pandemic deaths. Using the official number of crematoriums in China and a simple formula, I calculated that up to 140 million people might have died in those 3 years. So I think the pandemic is still the top reason for the population drop. Second, even though lockdowns ended, the past few years show the pandemic hasn't fully left China. New viruses might be popping up too. Deaths linked to the vaccines, especially among young people, are also happening a lot. Of course, tons of people have left China and moved abroad through all kinds of ways. Plus, the birth rate keeps falling and the economic slump is making people stay home instead of spending. All these reasons add up. It's like a slow build up that suddenly becomes obvious, like heating water from cold to boiling. You don't notice until it hits the boiling point, and then bam, you see it. The water is boiling. Would you agree with my reasoning? Well, that's all for today. Please like and share this video and leave a comment to give me a boost. Also, since YouTube has demonetized my channel, I encourage you to either subscribe to my X channel, follow me on Ganjing Road via the link I offer in the description and comment, or visit my website at jenniferzengblog.com to sign up for a membership or make a donation. Your support is vital to enable me to continue sharing the inconvenient truths. Thank you. See you next time.